part of us. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. We hold you in our hearts. You are a part of us. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. We hold you in our hearts. You are a part of us. Ooh, you are the face of God. You are the face of God. We hold you in our hearts. You are a part of us. Ooh, you are the face of God. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Boy, that's nice and loud. I think they can hear me across the street. All right. Good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to have you here this morning. You are among the brave who come out and to share. You have no idea how sanitized this sanctuary is. We have special lights that we use an hour before we open the sanctuary. We do all the pews with that, that really special disinfectant stuff that they recommend you do for the coronavirus. And then we have these lights that purify the atmosphere and everything. So what I'm saying to you people at home, why don't you take a chance and show up here and share in the real good energy that's right here. You can't get as much looking at this on a screen. You have to be in person and feel the energy that's coming through this beautiful service that you're going to experience right now. But we love having you out there. That's great. And while you're out there, you might want to just text a friend and say, I'm about to tune in to Unity of Boulder's second service, which is going to be phenomenal because the minister there is Cintisha, and she's going to be sharing with you the truth about life as it appears around us and how to move with it so we live successfully, beautifully, and harmoniously. So welcome to all of you out there and all of you in here, and may you really get in touch with what is going to be shared by the Reverend Cintisha. What's up? The welcome.
Time for April Joy.
Yeah, she has another song. Announcer. Oh. No, we don't have an announcer.
Maybe there's announcements.
Okay.
Not to. We'd like April Joy to come up.
Okay. It's not you. It's not you. It's not you. It's not you we're looking for. We're looking for that pretty blonde lady that sang the first song. So I know it's none of you. Can we have April Joy come back out and sing? We're not going to do announcements this morning. So come on out. Ta-da! All right. All right.
Hair's done, makeup on, lips, lips, lips.
Okay.
Where I am, God is. Where I stand, God is standing strong. And where I breathe, God is breathing
I'll talk to Mike about it.
life and where I live, beauty's flowing free, in and out and through me, as me, where I doubt, God is the faith in me, and where I cry, God is the comfort there. Where I seek, God is the answer, here and now, forever and ever and ever. Where I speak, truth is, and where I work, love is my career, and where I play, God is playing boldly, in and out and through me, as me. Oh, 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 do, 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 do. Oh, oh, where I am, where I stand, where I pray, where I work and breathe and move and be, where I sing, where I dance, my dance, my dance, wherever I go, where I dance and breathe and live and give. God is, truth is, love is, God is.
Well, wonderful way to start. Thank you, April. Good morning, everyone. You saw that little disorganization at the beginning of the service. Welcome to, we're still going through that portal that ends on November 3rd or on the 11th on Wednesday. So we just have a few more days of this kind of chaotic energy that affects machinery. It affects everything that has to do with organization. We're learning how to stay in our center, and watch the disarray happen and flow with it, right? The more we can flow with life as it is, we have, without grasping and trying to be in control of outcomes. I think that this has been a year where we have been truly, all of us collectively, on a path of surrender and finding our center regardless of what is happening in the outer world, and really examining that spiritual life that lives within us, and if we aren't examining that, then we've had a very difficult time since last March. But many people, I feel like, are coming out of this now, and they don't feel like they're drowning anymore. And they're feeling like their wings are starting to spread and they're starting to fly again. Even though not a lot has changed, we're still facing the same issues like the pandemic, and we had lots of political stuff this week that we all lived through, and some people are rejoicing in a major way and some people aren't. And the most important thing is that we find our collective connection, that collective power that comes from oneness. And not seeing each other as other, but as each other, together, as a collective. So my sermon today is titled Practice Wonderment. This is a season of giving thanks for all the blessings in our lives, a season of giving gestures to friends and family in gratitude for all the love and the beauty that they show us in our lives. We're in that place where we're waiting for winter to appear, and we're observing the birds that migrate away for the winter, and we're seeing the birds that stay to bless our days every day through the winter, and we see those squirrels filling up with all their seeds and getting extra fat and cute, and we're seeing the deer and the elk and the beauty that's everywhere to be found in Boulder and in Colorado. We are so very blessed, and it's not hard to find gratitude. So when we ponder the things that we are grateful for, we put ourselves in alignment with the law of attraction, and it attracts more of that which we are thankful for. So we put ourselves in alignment and only focusing on that which is gorgeous and beautiful, and even the difficult stuff, we say thank you. Because we always know that even the difficult stuff is growing us. It's growing the soul to be greater and more capable of functioning in a new world that is being birthed in the very midst of us at this time. In the Bible it says it is in giving that we receive. We don't give to receive. It's the feeling we receive when we are living from the potential within us and open ourselves up to being conduits of God's love for all. We were talking about this in the women's group. I feel like this is like making a popping sound, and I don't have big earrings on, so you can't blame the earrings. It's probably spirit trying to come through the microphones. This is definitely that phase. You know, they love the electronics to communicate through, and I'm sure spirit would just like to give this sermon, and I'll just get out of the way and let spirit take over. Rumi says, thankfulness brings you to the place where the beloved lives. Thankfulness brings you to the place where the beloved lives. And Ralph Waldo Emerson says, cultivate the habit of being grateful for every good thing that comes to you and to give thanks continuously. And because all things have contributed to your advancement, you should include all things in your gratitude. So I wanted to kind of get into our childlike wonder and go back in time to our childhoods when we would gather for Thanksgiving as a family, and the feeling of that collective wonderfulness of family that travels into town to be together, to be grateful for an abundant meal that we know not everybody gets on Thanksgiving. Or that feeling on Christmas morning when you went down to the Christmas tree, whether you went downstairs to get to it or you went down the hall, to see all the glistening wrapping paper and that sense of wonder of, I wonder what all of it is. You know, wonder what are these wonderful things that my mom and grandparents and everybody put together to give me for Christmas. But eventually, as we get older, and we talked about this in the women's group on Tuesday, we find it's much more rewarding to give than to receive. That feeling of giving is so much more comfortable for us than to receive from others. And in the prosperity classes that I teach, I always have this exercise that I start each class with, and everybody writes their name on a piece of paper and they put it in a basket before the class starts. And at the end of the class, I pull a name and I have a gift for them to receive at the end, and we call it the receiving exercise. And the whole point of the receiving exercise is that, you know, we're working with the law of attraction, and we're looking at what we're feeling, thinking, and being, and what we're putting out to the universe so that we can manifest more of what we really truly want instead of manifesting more of what we don't want, and learning how to work with that vibrational pull. But one of the most important things I always say to the students is that a lot of people have a hard time receiving, so the universe shows up to you and wants to bless you with something through another person, or a different job that might have to take you out of your comfort zone, and it's time to shift and do things that take us into a new direction, and things are falling away, and we learn that we have to become deeply connected in our faith, that something greater is at hand, and that we are receiving what the universe is saying is what is being called for your betterment, for greater abundance as far as joy, more health, more happiness, more love, whatever area there's a lack and why they're, attending the class. But at the end, I'll pick a name, and I have a gift for someone. And I've had this happen in one of my classes, and I always have anywhere from 60 to 75 people in the class. I had a class that was 5 weeks long, and the same woman's name got pulled every single week. And it's not shocking to me, but it was shocking to other students, because clearly this person has an issue with receiving. And so if we want to work with the law of attraction and shift energy and put ourselves in alignment for that which has always been waiting to come to us, it's just that we have to get out of our own way and get out of our own fear and get out of our own limited thought processes that keep us stuck from opening up and being in a state of allowance. This one obviously really needs this exercise. And I do the exercise where I give a gift that I can tell if they actually use it or not. So I'm actually keeping track if they use it. And by the 4th week, this person still had not used this gift that had been given to her. So it's that important piece that to not be an over-giver, it's good to be a giver, but you have to have that equal giving and receiving. It's like single mothers that just give and give and give and give. And you look at them and they're only 30 years old and they look like they're 50 because they're just so worn out. They don't know how to receive from the universe that wants to make us feel loved, seen, and held, and to be divinely connected and rooted to this greater something. So to go back to that childlike wonder when things were mysterious and weren't just set in stone, where we've lost the sense that miracles happen and that the universe is honorable and that the universe really doesn't want to give you more than you can handle. But we allow ourselves to receive more than we can handle because we're not getting the message of what we're supposed to be shifting in our life. So we'll end up with piles and piles of stuff that we can't handle because we're not willing to change. And it's the universe pushing you over to say, when are you going to let go of all of the control you're trying to control and release and surrender and get out of your own mind? Get out of the thought process that you aren't worthy enough to be a part of this divine potential that we know exists and is a constant and is an energy that we're always a part of. We're the only ones that have cut ourselves off, pinched ourselves off from this greater potential. And that's why I run women's groups, where women can share what they're going through. The women aren't allowed to tell each other how they fix these situations. It's just a matter of saying it to other spiritual women in the presence where there's compassion and love and empathy, where there's a space being held like a nest for us to shake off the brokenness, to share the things that made us feel less than perfect, and to step into the power that lives within us. I have a slide here. Oscar Wilde. He says, "To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist. That is all." To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist. That is all. Even if you don't feel like there is much to be grateful for, The Waldorf school, I grew up going to the Waldorf school. In junior high school, I went to the Waldorf school, and I've actually had a collective of friends connecting with me, and I'll share about that in the last few days. But they have an educational process when kids are feeling badly about themselves or feeling like they are being left out in friendships or have a worry that they're not smart enough or they don't believe that they're pretty or beautiful enough. And they teach them to look through gratitude and to say thank you that they have two eyes, to see all the beauty around that some other kids aren't as lucky to have. To get grateful for your ears for hearing so that you can hear beautiful music and birds and singing. Your mom saying, I love you. Giving pictures that there are kids that cannot hear. Getting a perspective that there's always a condition that could be much worse than yours gets you in a state of gratitude for what you do have. To get into a place that, not that we have to say it could be so much worse, it's just that where you are right now can become a miracle in this moment. If you change your perspective and the way you're looking at things, and the way you're feeling about things, and the way that you're seeing things. There is so much to say about being appreciative and grateful. Whether thanking God or life, there's something really beautiful about being alone and looking at your life and just saying, thank you. Thank you for this gift, and thank you for this ride, and thank you for the people that showed up, and thank you for my friends that have traveled this journey with me, and thank you for my parents, and thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've, in the last few years, had some issues with sleep and waking up at 3 a.m. every night. And I know that's a spiritual hour, and you get up and you meditate and things like that, but I have a hard time going back to sleep, and it affects your day when you don't get a full night's sleep. And I've noticed that when I just lay in that bed and I don't get up to sign up into the world in the middle of the night, and I just lay there and I say thank you, that the tiredness comes back in my body. All the things that are stressing me out and piquing my energy and why I'm waking up, because I'm thinking I have to look into some schoolwork that my kids need to do online, or I have to look to something that has to do with the choir that's meeting on Thursday, or my women's group on Tuesday, whatever. We all have pressures. But I can look at those things that are stressing me out and say, thank you. Because I have a life. I'm alive. And I get to be able to open this internet and look at the things that are missing because I'm healthy and I'm capable and I get to participate in all these strange changes that are happening because of COVID instead of going, could it get worse? Could it get more stressful? And thank you puts you in a state of surrender. And somehow it all just falls into place when you step out of your control, even though we really don't have control. The control is an illusion, but to get out of that. On a few days after Halloween, I decided that I'm ready to decorate for Christmas. I was just ready for joy. I'm ready for something pretty. And I've always decorated in November because December, as a minister, is a very busy time for us. So November, I like to have the Christmas tree up on Thanksgiving because it's like, it's a wonderful gathering time. And my kids and I went to Home Depot to pick up a tree because my tree is, I've had it for 10 years and it's time to get a new one. And we were heading in, and my son, who's 14, saw this little dog darting through Home Depot. And I don't know if you've been at Home Depot lately, but that's like the busiest place on the planet these days. I think everybody's just fixing up their houses and trying to keep busy with projects or whatever, but there was a million cars. And this little dog is like this big, and it was really thin, and it had no collar on it. It was shaggy. It was filthy. And I said, Ty, go running after this. And I hear this older man going, oh my God. Like the dog almost got hit on Arapahoe, and then it ran into the 29th Street Mall area. And my son is just running, who's very in shape, and I'm just having him chase and see if we can get this dog. And finally the dog comes all the way back to Home Depot and meets up with this elderly man and leaps in his arms. And the guy has tears in his eyes. And I said, oh my gosh, it's such a blessing that you got your dog back. And he goes, it's not my dog. But this guy was like screaming like it was his dog, and I was having Ty run to get this dog for him. But he's holding this dog with tears in his eyes. And this dog it looked like somebody dropped it off out of a car, like just decided it's too much. You know, it had been loved at some point, and you could tell it hadn't been for a few weeks. And he goes, I'm going to go inside and see if there's anybody there that owns this dog, but if not, I'm taking him home. He's going to be my dog. And he just looks so lit up and so beautiful. And I'm like, okay, well, make sure you get the Humane Society, make sure he doesn't have a chip on him too, and put your name in so that, you know, if somebody lost this dog, oh yeah, I'll do that. But it was just this beautiful exchange. And my daughter, who is 12, was like elated in this. She goes, wasn't that the most special thing that we just witnessed? This just lonely older guy looked so happy, and the way that dog jumped in his arms, it was like a soul connection. It was like that dog jumped in his arms like he'd had it for its 6-7 years on this planet. And so I wanted to read this from Abraham and what she says and how he manifests things. Your prayers causes you to focus. And the law of attraction causes everything in the universe that's in vibrational harmony with your focus to come to you. Your prayers causes you to focus, and the law of attraction causes everything in the universe that's in vibrational harmony with your focus to come to you. What was that man harboring inside of himself, right? Has he been feeling disconnected? He just looked like the sweetest, kind of shy, like clearly not a really interactive person, but the way he held that dog was like, this dog is going to eat steak for dinner for the rest of its life. You know, it was just wonderful and beautiful to watch. But was he putting something out there in his prayers? Saying that I need some companionship. I need some friendship. And we got to witness this powerful, palpable moment. It is in your allowing that attracts all things to you. When you sit in gratitude for all that you are and have, then the universe rushes in and gives you more of that harmonious alignment you have achieved. This is why it's so important to meditate every day, even if it's 1 minute or it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes. What you're doing is you're tuning yourself into the spiritual soul, the part of you that's divinely and directly connected to Source. So then as you step out for the human experience, the Spirit is moving in and through your experience and attracting more and more good into your life. You're calling Spirit into your heart and into your life to guide your day. And, you know, and I always love to speak about animals as far as being an incredible companion. For me, I do a lot of counseling for some very lonely people that don't have family here and things of this nature. And I always wonder, how do you not go get an animal? You know, I have 3 children, a husband, and my 3 little dogs are the ones that get back to me. You know what I mean? Everybody else has got, they need a piece. They have to take, they take. My husband gives back. And the kids do too, but nothing like a dog does. You know what I mean? That face when you go home, and they're just so stoked to see you. There's just this sense that you're just everything, just like we really are. We are everything, and we are that love. And it's like, I love that statement that says, I want people to see me the way my dog sees me. It's a great affirmation, or the way my cat sees me, right? I love cats. I'm just allergic to cats, so I happen to talk about dogs too much. I know you cat people get upset about it. I get emails. And trust, if I see a cat, I definitely cuddle them crazy, but then I have to go wash my hands real quick. But to think about that moment, you know, my family always goes around on Thanksgiving and we share what we are most grateful for. I don't think that should be a yearly tradition. What are you most grateful 4. Just the fact that you woke up today is a miracle. Just the fact that you have family call you, or you call family and you have people in your lives, is a miracle. The fact that you have this community to be a part of is a miracle. It's about not looking to these miracles that are like diamonds and crazy and outside of ourselves. It's the common miracle. It's that deer that just crosses your path and you get to see the majesty. You know, the other day I was driving to my women's group and something caught my eye. I drive from Lyons, and I'm always nervous driving at night because the elk migrate across the road every night at some point. And there's a specific area, and I saw something spook, and I turned, and I saw the behind of an elk, and I never realized how big they were. You know, it was just unbelievable, and I could see how far his head was from there. It was just a perspective I never got before. You know? And it's those kind of miracles that was just like, I'm going to have a great group tonight. I just knew it. It was like, look at the rump on that elk. Everything's right in this world. You know? Reflecting on beauty is a great way to come into the resonance of beauty, period. So that you can match with that into the presence and find areas, small or big, and match that energy. A fellow Unity minister wrote this: I've learned over time that it helps to take the long view, to choose to see our lives from a spiritual perspective. I know we are here to grow our souls, to heal our wounds, or at least bless our woundedness, and become more loving, kind, fearless, and hopeful. The longer I live, the more I recognize that cultivating an attitude of gratitude is the key to living from an open heart. That is, living in a spirit of joyful expectations. Living in a spirit of joyful expectations. Gratitude is not just the key, it's the magic key. So I wanted to share a story about my son a few weeks ago, and just the adjustment to school online, and just to, this is for all the parents that are going through this journey of kids looking at screens for 8 hours a day and how that's affecting their spirits and all of it. My son, who has had some learning differences from day one. He's very much in the spirit realm. This is a boy that's a very spacey, dreamy, incredible, heart-centered child. But as far as the books go, it's like pulling teeth to get him to focus, okay? And it's actually been really interesting because my daughter, who's 12, is just, you don't even have to ask her if her homework's done. She's so self-critical. She just has to do well. She has to do well. And I'm not really actually that tough about grades. I just want my kids to be happy. I also want them to know the majesty that lives in them, I would like them not to get Fs, is pretty much the expectation. But Tyler has actually resonated with doing school online because it's focused him. The sounds of other kids in the classroom are part of his audible issue, right? So we now know he's very much a visual learner. And the teachers are instructing and they're doing all this, and all of a sudden he's gone from a C, D kid to straight A's. And with no help, which he usually has some sort of a help in school. And he's in his first year of high school right now. And he came home from his dad's house a couple weeks ago, and he looked really fretted and freaked out. And I said, "What's going on, Ty?" And he's like, "I don't know. I was in my math class, and they're allowed to use certain apps on their phones to help them with math, because those, instead of books, that we used to use for math, they're using apps and things like that to get through the schoolwork. And they're about to head into a test. And before they head in the test, the teacher started talking about the homework that was going to happen after the tests. And Tyler was following in the conversation that she was talking about the homework after the test, and he was asking if he could use the specific math app with that. And the woman lost it through the screen on my son and accused him of trying to cheat on the test if he used this app, which my son is a very quiet, introverted child, so humiliation in front of other students does not help this boy thrive. And he's like, and she's going to call you tonight. She's going to call you. I'm like, that's okay, Ty. I know you would never cheat. I just know who you are, and I've never known a high schooler to ask the teacher if you could cheat on the test. Have you ever met one of those? I mean, you got to be kidding me. I mean, I was like, you asked her if you could use this app, and she lost it because you were asking if you could cheat on the test. I mean, this is like silly, but I get it. I'm not a high school teacher, and I'm sure you have hoodlums that play games like that where they're like, I'm going to use this app on a test, and you know those kids, right? So she's probably burnt out. But my son's not that kid, and I'm a mommy. I'm a mama bear for this kid. So she never calls me, and I'm looking forward to her phone call because I'm really, really want to understand what the heck happened here, because my son's now all night freaked out that she's going to call me, and I told him there's nothing she's going to say that's going to make me believe anything than what you just shared with me, because you are an honest boy. So the next day, I happened to have a parent-teacher meeting set up. It was just already set up where all the teachers were going to talk to me through a Zoom meeting. And Tyler's has a special kind of ed teacher that oversees all the schoolwork to make sure that he's fulfilling everything. And that particular guy, at the beginning of this meeting, says to Ty, my goal for you, because I think you don't need this help anymore, is that you become a better self-advocator. You have to start speaking up in your classes and asking, the questions you need to fulfill to be able to move forward. Because in life, you're going to have to be able to self-advocate, and I can't do that for you anymore. And I want you to know, Ty, there are no stupid questions. This is what the guy says on Zoom. And then this math teacher comes in and shares how my child had tried to cheat on his test the day before. Never called me, and brings this up in front of all of his teachers. Oh my God. I don't know what happened to me, but it was like, I said, so you are seriously bringing this up in front of other teachers to basically challenge my son's integrity and truth when you never even talked to me about this, and my kid was asking if you could use this app for the homework, not the test. And you never called me, and now you're bringing this up in front of his other teachers. And she starts shaking and starts defending herself, and then it all works out in the wash. It came out that this was a ridiculous way of communication, but this is what this time is about. These teachers literally do not know your children. They don't even know the energy of your children, like as if we aren't souls and beings. He's just another number of children that woman is teaching. Realizing that he's starting to thrive in his life, and he's finding his wings in the educational system. And one mistake like this woman can take that power out of a young person to make him feel stupid and to stop self-advocating and asking questions. And I bring this up because we have to become even more sensitive to how things are coming off with each other, because most of us right now are communicating through text, emails. Nobody picks up a phone and talks on it anymore. We're becoming so disconnected from one another, and a lot of us are assuming a lot of things that are probably not real because we're trying to read the tone of a text. Like, well, what do they really mean by that? Like, I think she sounded mad when she put that capital on that word. We need to get down to what is really, truly important. This is the season of giving and receiving. This is the season that we show up for other people and tell them how much we love them and appreciate them, and vice versa. the more you give of that, and if you're needing some of that, give more of that, and you'll get more of that. But when I had this conversation with the math teacher, Tyler's sitting next to me. He's twice as tall as me at this point, but his whole body just crumbled into my body, like he was 2 years old again. That sense of protection from his mom. That trust that he's not alone in this world. That's what we receive when we put out gratitude into this universe. The universe wants us to lap our bodies into the heart of God and be held. Because we all need that support right now. So there was this study that was done on these children of low-income houses. And they did a little test on these little children, and I want to share this video with you. Can you guys turn it on up there?
This year for Christmas, what are you hoping to get?
A computer, big giant Barbie house,
A trophy case.
Xbox 360, Minecraft Legos.
What do you think your mom or dad want for Christmas?
My mom would probably want a ring. She's never really had a ring.
Jewelry, she loves jewelry. A new TV, like watches.
So, you actually did buy an Xbox 360.
What in the world? I wanted this! Okay, you really got this for me?
A new laptop.
Wow,
And
it's a necklace.
So we also bought a necklace because you said you also wanted to get a necklace for your mom or your auntie. The catch is that you can either get a gift for yourself, or you can pick a gift for your mom and dad. I need you to pick one. Now before you answer, oh, I bet that's hard. Is that a really hard question?
Mm-hmm.
What gift do you pick?
I choose this.
I gotta go with the ring.
What gift do you pick?
That one. That one. That dress.
I'll choose this for my mom.
I'll choose this one.
It's a really tough question,
I'll
but
give him this.
you already know? Tell me why.
Because Legos don't matter. Your family matters. Not Legos, not toys, your family. So it's either family or Legos, and I choose family. I get gifts every year from my family, and my mom don't get anything. If I get a laptop, my mom will get something. She helps me when I'm sick. She helps me with my homework. She gave me a house to live in.
They look out for me and do stuff for me, so I need to give back to them.
Now I have the opportunity to give him something.
Because you actually picked the gift for your family, you're actually gonna go home with both. Tell me how you're feeling.
I'm feeling really happy and thankful.
Just happy. Thankful.
For your family? For what?
My family, everything.
He did make his decision, actually. And he picked the Pandora charms.
Oh, that is sweet. You're gonna make me cry. So what are you gonna get for me? Oh, it's for me? Oh, it's so cute.
Thanks, guys.
I was trying to.
Oh, I can barely watch that video. It's way too cute for words. So they chose the gift for the parents. Because that does feel better. It doesn't feel good to receive things when we know someone else could really use that gesture. We get that from a young age, that we want to look out for the people that look out for us, you know, and so to take that time to appreciate the people that are still with us, that are still here. Each day is a blessing, and tomorrow is not promised. You know, I have a friend I found out last night that's going to be transitioning today or tomorrow, a very close friend that I went to the Waldorf school with. And she's my age, and she has a son that's the same age as my son. And it sure puts life into perspective. You have your breath. You have your health. You have your life. You have so many more tomorrows. All you have to do is step out your front door and go on an adventure with spirit into nature. We live in the most magical place on the planet. And if you don't have a friend to talk to, then call us here at Unity, because we're pretty good friends. But saying thank you to people that truly matter, because you're grateful that they're in your life. So I had to end with an animal video because, you know, I haven't done one in a while. So you guys can turn it on because I've got a few slides before that. Thank you. It just proves that we're all feeling beings. And I've got a really great dog in the office if you need a good hug today. He's a great hugger. All right, we'll take an offering for unity now.
Way to experience this day with all that love that actually exists. It opens us up to realize that we are created to love one another. The masters never leave it. To love one another as I have loved you, to love your neighbor as you love yourself, to love and love and love, and there's nothing else you can find that will be as rewarding as giving love in whatever way seems appropriate to you. This is an amazing reminder for all of us. What a beautiful service. So now, as we get ready, we're going to bless an offering here, and we do it in our COVID-19 way. We tell everybody to bring to mind whatever gift you'd like to give to Unity of Boulder so we can continue to share these services and classes and counseling and the things that we do here at Unity of Boulder. So with all of that, you people online, you can use any one of these particular means to tithe to Unity of Boulder. We sure appreciate it. It helps us keep this place going, and we keep reaching more and more people and opening them up to the beauty of the reality of the unity that we share in love. So as we take these offerings into our minds and hearts, let's bless them with this offering statement. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. Okay, take it away.
Hello, everyone. So this song today is called We Live in You. It's a very special song to me. It's about coming through the fire, literally, right, Boulder? When the chips are down, when life feels like everything is not going right. We know that if we live in God's grace, if we remember who we truly are, and that we are all one, and that beautiful, benevolent grace runs through us all. We look to God, we live in God. So this song is that. As I lay me down, heaven hear me now. I'm lost without a cause, giving it my all. Summer fires have come, darkening our sun. After all that we've been through, who on else can we turn to? We live in you. We live in you. And when all our strength is gone, in you we know we're strong. We live in you. We live in you. And when melodies are gone, in you your song. We live in you. I'm about to lose my breath. No more fighting left. Sinking to rise once more. Searching for that open door. And every road we've taken has led to our unrest. I don't know if we're gonna make it. Nothing to do but live instead. We live in you. We live in you. And when all our strength is gone, in you we know we're strong. We live in you. We live in you. And when melodies are gone, in you you're a song. When the levees have broken, my heart has come tumbling down on me. When the rain is falling, defeat is calling, I need you to set me free. Take me far away from the bow. I need you to shine. We live in you. We live in you. And when all our strength is gone, in you we know we're strong. Oh, 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 oh. We live in you. We live in you. We live, we live, we live in you.
Thank you. It's one of my faves. You can sing that every Sunday, and I just finished with that. All right, so we have prayer partners available, and Steve with the white sash on, you can just stay seated, and he'll come and sit with you and pray with you if you have a prayer that you would like to share, or you have something you'd like to overcome, or you just want to share joy. He would love to sit and visit with you for that. I'm going to tell my women's group that unfortunately with the new COVID protocols, we can't meet in person anymore. We have too many, so we're going to do it on Zoom, and I sent you all an email with the Zoom address, so I'll see you at 6 on Tuesday on Zoom. It's a total but it's life. So we're going to close with a closing song, and then I will be out in the front steps for fellowship to chat with, answer any questions you have about Unity and upcoming events. All right, let's all rise, and we're going to sing our closing song. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Release and I let go. I want to hear. Let the Spirit run my life. I can't hear you. My heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more